Hey everybody, this is Russ from Metro Game Core. Today I'm going to show you a brand new way to jailbreak or hack your PS Vita. And I'm really excited to show off this new method because it's the easiest one yet. In fact, you can do this entire jailbreak without having access to a computer at all. And if you've ever tried to hack a PS Vita before, you know that connecting it to the computer is always the hardest part. And so now we've eliminated that one step, and hacking your PS Vita has never been easier. And so without any further delay, let's jump into it. Okay, to start, on my website, I have a PS Vita guide, and I'll have a link to this in the video description below, but this is going to be your one-stop shop to get everything up and running on your PS Vita. In addition to having a written guide on how to hack your PS Vita, I'll talk about other things like why you'd want to do it in the first place. And in addition, I'll have links to specific tools that I recommend as well. And so this video here is going to show you how to jailbreak the PS Vita, but the written guide will show you how to unlock all the potential afterwards. Now this guide will work on all versions of the PS Vita, so the PS Vita 1000 or the FAT version, and that's the one we're going to use here today, but it also works on the PS Vita 2000 model as well. Additionally, I've been told that this process works on the PlayStation TV as well. However, I do not own one of those devices, and so I cannot confirm that personally, but in my written guide, I'll leave a link specifically to instructions for the PS TV. Now, if you're going to do this hack on the 1000 model like me here, you need to have a Sony branded memory card as well. That's because this original model did not have any onboard storage, but we need a little bit of storage here to run the apps. And so if you have a PS Vita 1000, you'll need to have a memory card, and it doesn't matter what the size is, so you can just buy the smallest one possible. Now if you have a PS Vita 2000 model, you do not need a memory card because this one already has 1GB of onboard storage. And finally, no matter what model you're going to use, I recommend getting this microSD card adapter here. You're going to be able to find it for under $10 on Amazon, and this will allow you to use a microSD card for storage on your device. Once you run a jailbreak on this device, you're going to want to use all of that storage to store all of your backed up games, as well as ROM files if you want to do any sort of emulation. And so again, I'll have a link to this in my written guide, and we'll also walk you through how to set this up in this video here. Okay, to start, I'm using a freshly wiped PS Vita running the official firmware that comes with the device. And if you're interested in wiping your device and starting over from scratch, I have instructions for that in my written guide too. Now this jailbreak works with the most current version of the PS Vita firmware, which is 3.74, and it came out last year. And so if you have a non-jailbroken device that is running on anything lower than that, I recommend going into the settings and updating it to 3.74. Other than that, the only two things I recommend doing before we get started is to connect to your home internet, and then also sign in to your PlayStation account on the device. Okay, and now we're actually ready to get started. We're going to go over to the browser app and then open it up here. And then in the address bar, we're going to type in this address, deploy.psp2.dev or dev. After that, just wait a moment and it'll then load up this black screen here. And this will allow us to install both Henkaku and VitaDeploy. And this is super easy too. Just navigate down to install Henkaku and press the X button, and then just give it a moment to run through the process. After that, we'll do the same thing but with VitaDeploy. After that, just move up to the exit button here and press X, and we're back at the main menu. Now if we scroll down to the bottom of our playlist here, you'll see that VitaDeploy is now installed. And if we go into the settings option here, you'll find that we have the Henkaku settings available too. And so let's go into that section and select Enable Unsafe Homebrew. After that, you can press the PlayStation button and swipe down to exit out of settings. And now we're ready to start up VitaDeploy. Once this app is running, go into the Install a Different OS section. And from there, select the option that says Quick 3.65 Install. After that, it'll take a minute or two to download the updater packages. But when it's done, it's going to show you this screen here. This will show you your current firmware as well as the factory firmware that your device came with. And you'll also see that the target firmware is 3.65. It's going to ask, do you really want to downgrade to 3.65? And you press X to say, yeah man, I want to do it. From there, it'll give you a quick warning to say they're not liable for any sort of damages that happen from this downgrade. It'll make you wait 20 seconds, and then you can press X to accept the changes and start the installation. And this installation will look a lot like any other software update on the PS Vita. It'll take a few minutes as well. But I'm going to fast forward this part here just for the sake of brevity. Either way, once everything's done, it's going to restart your PS Vita, and once we're back into the main menu, let's go over to the Settings app. Within here, let's go into System and then System Information, and as you can see here, we are now running a permanently modded 3.65 jailbroken firmware. And so now the jailbreak or hack is actually complete. But while I have you here, let me show you how to set up this microSD card adapter so you can have additional storage. For me, I found that 128 or 256 gigabyte microSD cards seem to be the best when it comes to the balance of price and storage. And so all you have to do here is just put your microSD card into the adapter and then put it in the PS Vita cartridge slot on top. Once you have that card inserted, we're going to go into the VitaDeploy app here. Within here, scroll down to the miscellaneous section, and then select the option that says Format a Storage Device. And then once you're in this window here, all you have to do is tap on Format Target Storage. You're not going to see any indication that anything is working, but after a moment it will say formatted. From there, we're going to back out to the main VitaDeploy menu and then tap on the reboot option right here. As you may have guessed, this is going to reboot your PS Vita, and we're going to do this a couple more times along the way. Now, once the device is rebooted, we're going to go into the Settings app and then go into Devices and then Storage Devices. And then within this window here, we're going to check that box that says Use YAMT. After that, let's back out to the main settings menu and then go into Henkaku settings, and at the bottom of this one here, there's also a reboot device option. And so we're going to tap on that to reboot our device once again. Once we're back in the main menu, we're going to go into VitaDeploy to move over some files. And so once you're in the main VitaDeploy menu, go ahead and select File Manager. And now once we're in the File Manager, you'll see a bunch of different drive options right here. And we're going to navigate here down to the section that says UXO. And then once we're in the UXO section, press down on the arrow key one time, and then press the triangle button to bring up the main menu. From here, choose Mark All to select all of these folders. Next, we're going to navigate down to the one that says SCELO Trash. Once we're hovering over that one, press the square button to unselect it. Now press the triangle button again and select Copy. And you should get an indication here that it has copied all of the folders. After that, you can back out to the main menu here and select the UMAO folder instead. Once you're in here, press down on the arrow button one time and then press triangle button and select Paste. And this is going to copy over all the folders from your memory card or internal storage over to the SD card storage instead. After that, we're good to go. We can press the PlayStation button here and close out of VitaDeploy, and then we can go back into the settings section and then devices and storage devices. Next, we're going to change out the UXO and UMAO storage devices. For UXO, we want it to be SD to Vita, and then for UMAO, we want to change that to memory card. After that, we're good to go. Let's back out to the main settings section, then go into Henkaku settings and scroll down and then reboot the device one last time. Okay, and so here we are back on our rebooted device. We're going to go into the settings app and then go into system and system information. And as you can see now, the memory card is now showing the microSD card adapter that we've put inside. And so now on my jailbroken PS Vita, I have over 238 gigs of storage. Okay, and so before we get closed out here, let me show you one other thing I recommend doing to get some essential apps onto your device. For this, we're going to go back into VitaDeploy and then select App Downloader. And we're going to select my favorite apps here. The first is going to be VitaShell, which is a file manager. And then also there's a new app called the VitaDB Downloader. This is going to allow you to install homebrew directly onto the device. Additionally, I recommend installing Adrenaline, which is going to give you the PSP environment within your device, and then also the PKGJ app here. This is going to allow you to install backups of your PS Vita, PSP, and PS1 games here. And if you'd like, there's also a PS Vita save file manager, as well as a custom themes manager if you want to try those out too. Anyway, once you're happy with the apps you've selected, go ahead and scroll up to the top and select Download the selected apps. From there, it's going to download and install each of these apps that you selected. After it's run through the process, you can go ahead and press the PlayStation button here and exit out of VitaDeploy. And now, as you can see, we have these freshly installed apps for you to start having fun with. And so, believe it or not, we're at the end of the video here. We are all set up and good to go. At this point, we'll be able to install backups of our favorite PS Vita and PSP games, and we'll be able to run our favorite third-party emulators like RetroArch, or we can try our hand at installing homebrew ports. Either way, like I mentioned earlier in the video, as soon as you have this set up, you can go over to the written guide and start trying out the other options we have available. Either way, rest assured that now the most difficult part of setting up a PS Vita is complete. And so if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and we will see you next time. Happy gaming.